Less than 2 months to Solo, a Star Wars story. Who's excited?
Brock.
Are you really?
That's me. Oh, yes, I'm very excited.
You just found out you're actually working that day.
Yeah, I'm working, but like not during the premiere, thank goodness.
You know, you should probably quit your job.
I should probably quit because this is much more important.
It actually, you know, watching the third best Star Wars film, I would argue, is more important than going to your job.
Yeah, exactly. Throw away your future for a galaxy far, far away.
Don't even worry about it.
Don't even worry about it. Listen to my voice.
I cannot wait for Solo, a Star Wars story. Ooh. There, over under, we get a green milking cow.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be blue milk, if anything.
I'm going to go with a magenta milk.
Oh, my goodness.
Hi, everyone. I'm James. This is
Brock.
This is the 87th episode of the Rebel Scum podcast.
Hi.
And as you have guessed, we are shills for Disney.
She shills by the seashore.
You were wondering earlier about tickets going on sale for Solo, a Star Wars story. And I'm going to be honest right now. This is my number one movie of the year.
Yeah.
Obviously, hashtag third best Star Wars film. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to spend money on my ticket right now because I'm seeing Ready Player One tonight or yesterday, depending on when you saw it, Wednesday night. I bought my Avengers Infinite War in Avengers Age of Ultron 2 ticket. I bought that already, right? That's like $50 on movie because look, movies, we're in Canada. That's $50 right there, $40, $30, whatever. And then I got, what else is coming out? Rampage. How am I not going to go watch The Rock? I just rented.
I will go see that.
I just rented Jumanji 2.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
It's good, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to watch more with Jack Black playing a 16-year-old girl. That's all I want to watch for the rest. They were all really good in it, though. But anyway, Rampage. I'll go see another. I want to see Rampage. Something else comes out.
Deadpool.
No, that's later. What else comes out in April? There's one more movie in April.
Well, technically... Pacific Rim, but that's already out.
That's March.
Are we in April?
Well,
when is this?
Next week. Anyway, and then Deadpool 2, and then there's a lot of money before. So I don't. Well, I'm not gonna pre-order a Deadpool ticket.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's rated R. We're in Canada. We're very clean-minded here. People won't go see Deadpool.
People won't go to see Deadpool.
They won't go see. Actually, did I tell you? We got a side act bar on my Deadpool. Did I tell you when I first saw Deadpool? In the theater.
You saw it like way later, or did you actually see it?
I saw it like a couple. Yeah, I saw it in the theater in Belleville, Ontario, far away. Nice. And we sat there, and you don't pick your seat or anything like that in the theaters there.
It's the worst.
Yeah, I can't do it, man. So we show up and we sit down, and it's me, and my brother-in-law, friend, and my friend's son, who was like 13 or 14 at the time, and then his friend, who was also 13 or 14, and my friend's like, "You're sitting next to my kid because I don't want to look like a bad father." So I'm sitting there, and behind us is a row of 7-year-olds and a grandfather. And like 5 minutes before the movie starts, this woman runs in. She goes, "Dad, you're in the wrong theater." And he goes, "What do you mean? This is Kung Fu Panda 3." And she goes, "No, it's not. It's Deadpool." He goes, "No, it's Kung Fu Panda." And they had an argument. And we turned around and we're like, "This is Deadpool?" And they're like, "Oh my God." And I think the kids were kind of excited. And then I felt bad because I think Kung Fu Panda 3 already started. And they had like the best seats in the theater. Like they had like the middle row. They were there for a while, you know. So anyway, Deadpool. So anyway, Han Solo, I don't know when. And the other thing too is I don't think it's going to break any records. So I think a few weeks out, maybe a month out, you're looking good for Solo tickets on sale.
Well, it is an exciting time to be a movie watcher.
This is when you need Movie Pass.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not bragging. I have a lot of scene points saved up, so I have at least 2 free tickets. Baller.
That's still not enough to see all the movies.
Kobe. So yeah, I mean, are we expecting any more trailers anytime soon, or?
That's a good question. I personally don't want one, but I think they need to remind people that this movie is coming, and I think you'll agree, Lando.
Yeah, I want more Lando and yellow shirts. I'm pretty psyched about the books that are coming out.
Yeah,
I'm interested in
one
that.
of them.
Did you?
I have no idea which one. Interesting. I was like, because I was in Cuba when they were announced, and when I came back, people told me.
Yeah.
And I went on my Cabo That's an e-reader, and I pre-ordered something.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I had money from Christmas on it, so I was like, ooh.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, I was looking at a list of because there was an article. It's like all the new books coming out right after Han Solo, and there's like the main like novel YA stuff, but then it just keeps going, and there's like, you know, the fun activity books with stickers and stuff like that.
The one's that's the one I pre-ordered.
And there was one where it's like the Golden Mire, like you know how on the
yeah
whatever, and there's like it's one just about Wookiees, and it's like Chewbacca and Kashyyyk. And I was on the train with Daryl, and I showed it to him. I'm like, look, and he's like,
I don't know what that is.
cool. So yeah.
By the way, Porgs are amazing still.
Yeah, Porgs are amazing.
You watch The Last Jedi, and you're like, hey, Porgs are still awesome.
Yep. Just like Ewoks.
Well, I see. Here's the thing. We got to get this out of the way.
Yeah.
Would you compare them to Ewoks?
I would compare them in the sense that they go to a place where there's this weird civilization of creatures.
But that's more the caretakers.
True. But I don't know. You know what it is? I think it's comparable in like Ewoks kind of make, well, it depends who you're talking to, but like Ewoks kind of make you happy. They don't have to do stuff. They do tend to do things.
You're talking to.
But they could be like, I'm an Ewok. And that's what the Porgs do. They're like, we're birds. Like, it's... But, yeah, they don't really serve a huge purpose. They give Chewbacca something to do, I guess.
Yeah, like, I thought they were good, like, scenery that you got to cut to once in a while. And that's why I think, like, Ewoks serve the plot.
Yeah.
Porg served my happiness.
They remind me of like old Muppet movies where like they're, you know, the main story would be going on and there'd just be a Muppet in the background in like a wall or something. like reacting, and then that's it.
Wow. All right, we got some stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about more Solo stuff because some things were mentioned. We're talking about the Last Jedi Honest trailer that came out because that was the most honest trailer ever. And we're going to talk about John Boyega being awesome again, and then Never Tell Me the Odds, Holo News. But first, we got to tell you about this little thing that we have going on called
Patreon. Check us out. We have a Patreon page at patreon.com/RebelScumPodcast.
Yeah. We have
stuff.
4 tiers. For $1, you get everything early, plus cloning around, which is coming in May, I think, right? May.
Hopefully. It is quite a slog to rewatch that series. I'm like, wow.
So yeah, you've been every day. I'm watching it.
I'm watching it now.
And Andrew's like, I've memorized it all. He's English. I like a really bad.
What?
Really bad English.
He was a ghost the whole time.
For $2, you get all that plus Andrew's documentary. Go on the Facebook page and look at his craziness that he has there. That's going to be a completely different style of everything.
Yeah.
For $3, you get all that, plus you have whatever you want us talked about. And for $10, you get to be Rebel Scum yourself and appear on Vote No Confidence, or Flying Casual, or the Grandmaster of all Grandmasters, Duel of the Fates, where there is a 100% chance you'll beat Andrew Fantasia.
100%.
And watch the Duel of the Fates because they're fun to do. They're just trivia shows. That's all they are.
That's all they are.
And thanks to everybody who has subscribed, and to Zach, who won The Last Jedi on Blu-ray. Did it arrive yet? Let me know. I have no idea. I have a tracking number if you want it. Let's talk Solo, a Star Wars story. Wait, no, I passed. Whatever. So anyway, I'll do honest trailers next. Did you read that article about that actor on the set?
I did. What a waste of my time.
Finally, Clint Howard has broken his silence.
I so hope it is.
Well, I mean, he's talking about Ron Howard and how great he was. It sounded like a Ron Howard quote. I gotta say this about the. So, do you remember what it was? The quote? Like,
I mean, there's a bunch of things, but it was basically saying how like they aren't. Lord and Miller were not prepared for directing that type of movie.
Yeah.
And like they took 30 takes when normally it takes 2 or 3. Like Ron Howard just came in and schooled them all, I guess. And then the assistant director was more organized.
And then Lord or Miller, I can't remember which one, tweeted, "Don't believe everything you read."
Yeah.
Now, I have an opinion on this.
It's time for James' opinion.
I actually would agree with Lord Miller. Don't believe everything you read.
Yeah.
We don't know who this person was.
No.
We don't know how many days they were on the set. We don't know if it's Clint Howard. We don't know if it's just
Yeah.
a seed planted by Disney. Like, you go pretend you're an actor and talk to these people here. We don't know any of that. However, what that person said did jive with what we heard back in late June, early July, when it started to really leak, how they were underprepared and how things weren't happening, and we did hear that the assistant director did have to take control once in a while. Like, we were hearing these things. So this kind of fits in with that. So again, we don't have any idea who said any of this. So I would take it all with a grain of salt. And we're less than 2 months away. Let's just go and enjoy the F-balls out of this movie.
I mean, you got to look at it this way. It's not like they don't have experience directing a movie. It just didn't, like you said, jive with how Lucasfilms wanted them to direct it. But like, that's not their fault. That's like, okay, we're doing it this way. This is how we. I mean, there was mention of like, we'll find it in the editing room, sort of thing, which works in comedies, but like, in a movie where it's like, how you tell the story is very important. Case in point, Last Jedi. You don't want to create that with viewers. But it's like, I do my job a certain way. As long as I'm getting things done, you can't really gripe at me. But if you want it done a certain way, well, like, that's not my fault.
But they also weren't getting things done in the amount of time they had to get done. That was another problem. Right? Like, if you have your job and you're coiling cables, that's not what you do. Let's say, well, you do something. Let's say you're coiling cables and it takes you 3 hours to coil a cable that should take you 3 minutes. That's a problem.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know.
I think, look, they're used to smaller movies. This was a learning experience. And when they come back to do Solo 2, Cruise Control, it's going to be awesome. They're getting executive producer credit on it.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, they're not, like, just writing them off completely. They're like, you did work on this movie. Hooray.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what comes of it, though. I'm excited.
Yeah. I don't know. I wish,
Run.
like, it's, like Rogue One or even Last Jedi. No, maybe not. But like Rogue One's a good example where it's like they had to go in and basically change the whole ending. And that movie's good, but like we had trailers where it's like I didn't see that in the movie because that was the original stuff. And it's like, well, will we ever see that? I don't think it's a huge issue for a lot of people, but I
actually prefer that.
What?
I hate going into a movie and I'm like,
oh, right. Yeah.
Like the worst is, sorry to cut you off, but the worst is when you watch a movie and somebody dies, but you know that you've seen things in the trailer from after that, and you're like, well, they're coming back. Like, I hate like trailer. I try not to watch trailers. I am now, but I try not to watch them so much because they ruin movies. Like the Sicario 2 trailer. Did that show the entire movie? I can't tell. The Tomb Raider. Apparently, Tomb Raider. The last shot of the movie is in the trailer. Like Amazing Spider-Man 2. Why? I don't want that. I want to go. Show me enough to excite me. I love, Ang Lee's the Terrible Hulk movie. It was called The Terrible Hulk.
The Terrible.
That movie had that teaser trailer with Eric Bana just staring at the mirror, and then his eye goes green. Amazing. That was like, yes, I want to go see that.
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre had this teaser. Before they even shot a frame of the film, they had a teaser, and it's just all black, and it's like this woman running and like breathing heavily.
Yeah.
And then she like screams, and a chainsaw goes off. And you was like, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Not a frame of footage was shown in either of those, and those got me more excited than when you give away the entire plot for me.
Or like how they dealt with like the Cloverfield stuff, or like the first Cloverfield, we're like, what is this? Because it's just, I mean, a movie like Star Wars, it's like, do you want it to try that? Like, Cloverfield did well, but it's not like huge moneymaker. But
Rogue One still made $1 billion.
Yeah,
and the trailer showed you nothing.
Yeah,
they showed you alternate takes.
So like, my problem is like, it's like the Superman mustache, where it's like, if we didn't know that they CG'd out his mustache because of the whole legal thing of it, would we have noticed? I mean, he does look weird, but like the second he looks weird, you're like, mustache.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas
and that
you
kind of
just
takes you out of it.
Yeah, but if you don't know that, then you're like, there's something weird. But you throw it off, and then you're like, oh, they brought him back in a really lazy way.
I don't know. I don't. That all being said, I tend to forget all the information I know usually about Star Wars once I watch the movie. I just don't want to hear people saying like, oh, I bet like. We haven't really experienced that with Last Jedi. I don't think there's much, like, they didn't really fight him on it, but you know what I mean? Like, if we had known that they had to change something for Rian Johnson, script.
The difference though is they are in love with Rian Johnson.
Yeah, exactly.
Like in love with Rian Johnson. And I think honestly, actually I have no idea because Lord and Miller, when you listen to whoever the hell this is talking, and you watch the Jedi and the Director documentary, it's like they both approached it the same way. Like they're both just like, this is my vision, this is what we're doing. But Rian Johnson stayed on time.
Like I hope they reveal whoever this person is, because it sounds like they were totally comfortable with saying it, but then of course, like I probably because of any contract they've signed, they're not supposed to say anything. So but like I got the sense of like they were comfortable with talking. They're just like, well, we can't say anything, because the same with like they talked to Lord and Miller's representatives, like all this is untrue, but we can't say anything else because it's like. So it's so tight-lipped. I don't know. Whatever. This movie's going to be awesome.
I like that they said that it was like 90% reshot. That he shot it's the same script. He just did it all. I was like, comforting. It's not like, I'm sure that like they said they didn't do a lot of wides, which is fine. You know, but it's comforting to know that he made a movie and not, you know, he didn't just, it wasn't pickup shots. And that's why, who was it that did the, they said did the pickup for Rogue One.
Oh, like
the writer. What the hell?
Gilroy?
Yeah, Gilroy. I mean, but that's. I mean, and then like what's his face for on Mission Impossible did some for some other Tom Cruise movies, and it's like, yeah, but that happens all the time. Like, these things happen. We don't need to know all the details. Yeah. Speaking of details,
do you like Honest Trailer? No. Because I love those guys. They're bright. They do. Are they Screen Junkies? And this is one of their...
Yeah,
they're Screen Junkies. And they also... Smosh Games is sort of the part of them as well. Because it's this like same dude where they do honest trailers of like video games and stuff like that. They're the best. They did Last Jedi. I am psyched that we're talking about this. Because it's great. It's so... Like, they talk about this being a polarizing movie. It's like, this like really just embraces all of it. It's just... Come on. We're not, nobody's right, nobody's wrong. It's like, this is what it is.
Yeah, it pretty much summed up the fandom right now. The best was when it said starring. And it's salt.
Salty.
Star Wars fans.
Salty.
I love it. It was a great, honest trailer if you haven't seen it. I didn't think it was hilarious. I will say that.
Yeah, but you know what?
I didn't like the part where Luke milked the teat of the space cow.
I love they compare Kylo Ren's helmet to the Mighty Duck mask.
It's true.
I'm like, yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
No, I find like whenever I see a new thing from them, I tend to watch it, and I don't find myself laughing every time. There are a couple times where you're just like, yeah.
This one was just honest.
Yeah,
that was the thing. It was like I mean, it's funny because it's true. It was fun. I'm not saying it wasn't funny. Oh God, it was funny, but it was like it you know, it almost hit too close to home. It was like just watching it. I was like, this has been my life for the last 3 months, reading these comments. You know, just like, oh yeah, this is the best movie ever. This is the worst movie ever. You made my childhood better. You ruined my childhood. Like, oh no,
whiner, traitor.
Yeah. They hate it all.
Let's say our favorite parts right at the same time.
Yeah,
Kylo and Ren fighting the Praetorian Guards. Yoda hitting Luke with a stick. Porgs, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's so true. Like, it's like, yeah, if you take anything away from those movies, those are kind of the best parts.
Those are the best. And the part that everybody forgets, the R2 showing Luke the Leia thing was awesome. I think this... Anyway, whatever. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. I mean, the Honest Trailer is great. Screen Junkies, like, they only have 6 million subscribers or whatever, so we're not gonna post a link to them. Like, you can find it yourself.
Yeah. Just type in honest trailer. It's the first one that'll pop up.
Honest Lawyer would be a good one too.
Yeah.
Episode 9 is gonna be an all-out war.
Oh my goodness. Why?
Because John Boyega said it's gonna be.
Are we sure he's not talking about Pacific Rim?
He said he has not read the script for episode 9, but he said all I know is it is gonna be an all-out war.
That's fair. I mean,
well, it's called Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait. Never mind. I'm not gonna go there.
And you know, the third is always a huge
letdown.
Yeah.
That's according to X-Men Apocalypse, which is the third, and was a huge letdown.
Yeah, they're still making another one.
I actually think, look, this movie's got a few things going for it. One, it can have a lot of fun and be an all-out war. As all of the questions, as the Honest trailer said, have been answered, even if they were disappointingly answered. 2, those questions that were answered, maybe they weren't answered.
Yeah.
And they can have fun being like, well, yeah, but no. Or yeah, but, there's so much that they could do with this. They can have so much fun. Is Rose coming back? Is Rose coming back?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I have decided, yes. Yes, she is.
Do you know what I was thinking about Rose? Because I'm so like just here on, like, if Rose comes back, fine. If she doesn't, like, that's where I am on Rose, right? And I was like, Lando. I couldn't imagine anyone saying that about Lando. Like, if Lando doesn't come back, I don't care.
Right, they want,
because she's the new character, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Lando was, and I couldn't picture that, and I'm like, why? I wish she had that, like. And the thing is, there are deleted scenes, and obviously the novelization, that make her a way better character.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It seems bizarre if you look at any new like Star Wars merchandise, especially in the books, like Rose and Paige. They're really pushing these characters, and it's like Paige is like, well, we can't bring her back. She blows up, but
Paige is actually like the Paige moment is a great moment.
Yeah, they go out of their way to like, I don't know, it's interesting, but yeah, like I like what they want to do with the characters. I'm not saying what they're gonna do in 9, but like they're definitely like, it's not a flash in the pan character. Let's do more stuff with her, but like, why couldn't we see that in the movie? I feel like we just go down the same rabbit hole.
I'm curious to see what J.J. Abrams would do with her, because I don't really know what type of character she is. I know Ryan Jones said she's like a Star Wars fan, and we're seeing it like through our eyes. I'm like, but I don't think I got that. And I'm just curious, like, because I think Finn is going to go back to being a great character in 9, or I think he took a step back in 8 in terms of his characteristics.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I mean. I think he's gonna. I think his character's personality is gonna be a lot better, because Boyega's great, but he can only do what he's given. Yeah. And I think really J.J. Abrams, because he created the character, I think he understands him more, and that's going to be good for it. But Rose, I'm curious, because I think that when Rian Johnson said that he thought Poe and Finn were boring together, I call BS on that. And I think the bottom line was Rian Johnson wanted to create his Star Wars character. Because, he has Holo and DJ, but they're not really heroes. They're kind of like, Admiral and Benicio del Toro. And he wanted to like create his Star Wars character. This is my character that I brought. Yeah. And I'm curious to see what JJ does with that, because I feel like her voice isn't distinct. Yeah. Like, and Kelly Marie Tran is great in the role. Yeah. I have nothing against her. Like, that's why, like, if she comes back, fine. Yeah. I'm curious to see what JJ does. I think he might actually excel that character.
Yeah, because it's just like she has such a knowledge of like as an engineer, so she could be useful in so many facets, and like this whole theme of like, where is this war going, and like what does it all mean, and like who's the bad guy. That's a constant theme throughout it, and it's like very interesting. Where is that going? The same being said, like I was thinking about this. What is Kylo's motivation besides being angry? Like, why
finish what his grandfather started?
Is that like I want to say yeah, but like okay. So then, are we assuming he's gonna be back in that helmet then? Like in 9, I know we can't really answer that question, but like.
It's weird, because I think they were like, Kylo Ren is the face of Star Wars. Vader is the old face. Kylo Ren is the new face. And then after Force Awakens, Rey was actually the face. And so when you look at all the Last Jedi material, it's Rey is the face. And I think Rey took. And this is subjective, obviously, but I thought Rey also, like Finn, took a step back in that one. I was really looking forward to more Rey, to learning more about Rey, to having it. And we learn more about Rey, but it doesn't enhance her character in the least. Like, it makes her. I actually think she's less interesting after watching Last Jedi than Force Awakens, and so 9. I think they got to up that. But the mask is a good question. Do they want to go back and make Kylo Ren's look the face, or is it just gonna be Adam Driver from now on?
And it seems the only reason I bring that up is he destroys that helmet after what Snoke says to him. he like embarrasses him and then he destroys it out of anger. He's like, oh, I look stupid. If he had just set it down and then not worn it and then maybe at the end picked it up and then put it back on, that would make sense because it'd be like, okay, so like I was sort of following orders or whatever. Now I don't want to be made fun of. I want to be taken seriously. But yeah, I don't know. It just, I was thinking about it and it's like, I feel like we will get a backstory somehow on how Snoke brought him to the dark side, or you know what I mean? Like, even though we got the story with Luke and Ben and the 3 different versions of it, like, I don't feel like that's enough. Like, there's still, like, why are you this way exactly? What is it? If it's just in a book, great. I just think he's, as much as he's an interesting character, I'm like, why is he doing this? Like, why does he want to be, he wants to be in charge. Fine. That makes sense. But then he's like, I'm going to be the supreme leader. Why do you want to be the supreme leader? You don't like Snoke. Be something different. Like, call yourself something different. Okay, again, like, they don't have to waste time in a movie to explain that just yet. Maybe he'll just open with it, but like, he's supreme leader Ren right now. I don't know. Like, for that matters, like, do we need to know more about Ben Solo? I mean, I feel like we do need to fill that gap to understand that, but I would be content to never hear the name Ben Solo again, if that makes sense.
I think you're going to hear it a lot.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree. But you know what? It's like, why does it matter anyway? Like, it's, I guess my question is, Darth Vader is very interesting. You don't need to know about Anakin Skywalker. You need to know that was what his name was, and he became a new character when he became evil. And I like the prequels. I'm watching the Clone Wars. The Anakin character is pretty interesting in that show. But like, if we had never had the prequels, never had the TV shows, Darth Vader would have been an interesting character, just like that. So it's like, do we need to know who Ben Solo was at all? Or is it enough? I don't know. It's just... Is it because the reveal at the end of Return of the Jedi when he takes the helmet, I was like, oh, he's just a man in there. Which isn't a huge reveal. But you know what? You get to really see his face. And like, that's enough. It's like, he is a man inside of a machine. Is that really happening with Kylo? Because it's sort of like, we've seen his face. So it's like...
No, I see. This goes back to the first Reylo scene in The Force Awakens when he takes it off for Rey.
Yeah.
I feel like that was such a mistake. I'm still on that path. That I think, and I know, like, okay, if they're like romantically linked in any sort of way, I know people love that, hearing that, in any sort of way.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. But it's still at the expense of every single, like, the Han Solo scene loses a bit because of that. Now the rest of now it's like exactly what you said. Now he's unmasked. Like, what if it's reverse Anakin? What part of it? But I like the reverse Anakin theory, but it's like, are they too far along now?
Yeah.
And so I don't. Kylo is such a. But at the same time, we've learned more about Kylo than anybody else, and he's the most of all the new characters. He's the most satisfying.
Yeah.
Because of what we've gotten. Like, Rey for me is the least satisfying. Finn is somewhere in the middle. Poe is a little bit above that.
Yeah.
Because he got an arc in The Last Jedi. Mm-hmm. And then Kylo is, the movies are about Kylo. And I need Rey and I need Finn. Finn's an interesting one. Because how much more do we need to know about Finn? He was a stormtrooper, now he's not.
Yeah.
That's fine. But I don't know. Like, he's Han Solo. That's all.
Yeah. I would like to know a little bit more about this whole program the First Order puts in to get kids into that.
That's going to be in books and comics.
Exactly. Like, I don't see it ever really coming out, especially now that, like, Phasma's more or less gone. Like, but yeah, I don't know. What was I gonna say? Yeah, no, it's good. I'm psyched. I know what I was gonna say. I remember when Last Jedi finally came out, I think a couple weeks after, you said you think that the next movie might jump ahead a couple years. So we'll open with Kylo Ren is in full control of the First Order. He has his army, possibly the Knights of Ren, and maybe Rey has her own Jedi Academy. Just for the sake of a word, we'll call them the Jedis. Do you still think that?
I think it would be cool if Kylo Ren's here and then instead of Praetorian Guards, we've got Knights of Ren. Like his Praetorian Guards kind of thing. That'd be cool. I don't think Rey's gonna have a full-on Jedi Academy. I think I would love it if it was Jedi and Sith or Dark Side or whatever.
Yeah.
Going head to head, and we got lightsaber battles going off, and then in space we've got Poe and Finn flying things and shooting things out of the sky, and Rose fixing things when they're broken.
I'm an engineer.
Yeah, but I would love that. This comment by Boyega, I don't know, I haven't read the script, but it's gonna be all at war. Doesn't sound like much time would have passed.
Yeah.
But there's no one to have a war with. There's 37 people in the First Order, and there's 27 in the Resistance. So I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think there's gonna be a jump. I think it's
it's not gonna be right.
Yeah, it's too jarring to have that short of. It's just like we're running.
Can you imagine if it ends with Rey shutting the door on Kylo during their Force escape?
He's like, "Let's go,"
and you're like, "This is how it starts."
Yeah.
No, I think that was to the detriment of the Last Jedi. Was starting starting during the Force Awakens, because then you're stuck with because you have the crawl and the crawl kind of sticks you in.
Yeah.
Well, now what? Although I think they could have time jumped because I think Empire Strikes Back time jumps a bit. In terms of like the timeline of Luke on Dagobah and the other guys, I don't know what the time is of any of that. You know what I mean? Like, when does Luke get there versus that, and how long are they in that chase for, and blah blah blah. And how long does it take them to get to Cloud City and whatnot? So I think there was a way, but again, look, I think I've said this before. I think Rey is on Act 2 for longer than we think.
Oh, yeah.
Like, longer than the movie makes it out. Because I don't think she's there because she sleeps there, like, a couple times.
Yeah.
So she's there for longer than the 18-hour space scene that we're watching. So, that's what... So, like I said, I think when they're in hyperspace, time is still going around them in other parts of the world. Just, I don't know. It's all physics. Ask Neil deGrasse Tyson or something. I don't know.
All Out War though. Jar Jar Binks.
Yes, Jar Jar.
I love Artist Alley's. Shout out to whoever that was. I forget.
Nixax?
I don't know if that's the name on all of them, but like I don't know if I can't remember if there's.
It's pretty sweet.
But yeah, I saw a Jar Jar thing, so I bought it for you.
Thanks. I'm looking forward to 9. I think I said this in our review of Last Jedi. I think 9 is going to be. It's not going to be Return of the Jedi, but it's going to be a lot of fun and there's going to be a lot of sadness. Because it is going to, I think it is going to end. It's going to end. All 9 of these movies are going to end. And it's going to be over. And you're going to feel it like, oh, it's over. It's actually over.
I think the important thing to take away is that BB-8 is the best character. And every time he interacts with anyone, it's like people just, but his interaction with Poe, his interaction with Finn, somewhat Rey in The Force Awakens, I guess, because they kind of go apart. Yeah.
See, I would argue that Finn is actually the most fun.
Yeah,
he gets along with everyone, and he's human.
Oh yeah.
And he's
but even like DJ's like, hey, Roundy, like, it's like we're friends now. I'm like, perfect. I think also like BB-8 in the novelization, you're like, why? He can't talk, so you can't hear his inner thoughts, but. It's like the stuff they do in that book is like, he's like, I figured out a way to deal with it. I just copy what Poe does. I'm like, that's awesome. But yeah.
No, BB-8's great.
BB-8 is great.
All right. Never tell me the odds.
Never tell me the
Today's odds are once again brought to us by the Den of Nerds.
The Den of Nerds. A patron since February 2018. I think it
was actually March.
Was it merch?
All right, here we go. This first odd comes from Aaron Skurzewski, at Aaron Skurzewski on, I hope I'm saying it right, on the Twitter.
Yeah.
And there's the odds of, don't look. The odds of
I've read this.
The odds of Sheev Palpatine appearing in episode 9.
My first reaction to this was like, the Sheev Palpatine kind of throwing me off. It's like, so is that like he's like normal looking or he's just straight up the Emperor? Because it doesn't really matter. His name is whatever. But I don't know why it threw me off.
I should have wrote Emperor.
So it's just like...
I just like that his name's Sheev.
Yeah,
I'm really into.
in episode 9, 30%. It'd be cool. I'm not fighting it, but
I'm gonna go 51%.
I would really like to
not gonna
see an
happen.
evil Force Ghost.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. But JJ said it's gonna wrap up all 3 trilogies, and he's such an important part of because of the prequels. He's such an important part of everything that I think it would be cool. And then maybe he can explain who the hell Snoke was. All right, so I'm gonna go 51%. Why the hell not?
Yeah.
I like that one though. And the odds of Rey finally constructing a double-edged saber out of her staff for seriously, how long are we gonna have to talk about this? How long?
I want to say 75%. I want it to happen, so I want to say 100, but
She's gonna need a lightsaber. Right?
they keep bringing that stupid thing back. Like, do something with it.
Well, she had it because it takes place a second after the last.
Yeah,
one.
no, I understand that, but like
Look, she 75,
75.
75.1. Bob, I'm gonna go full Brock on this one.
Oh,
because I don't know.
yeah.
Like, it almost seems like a missed opportunity. They don't because first of all, Daisy Ridley has had all that training with the staff. Why not just make the 2 ends glow?
Yeah.
Like she has it. But on the other hand, maybe they just want it simple.
I don't know.
I mean, they've been going simple. There's no other lightsabers except for Kylo Ren, which isn't simple, I guess. But it's the only other lightsaber in this trilogy right now. So, whatever.
Ooh, will we see her find a Kyber crystal in episode 9?
No, absolutely not. She'll already have it.
I'm
Sorry. I'm sorry. She took Anakin, so they can keep bringing that one back. And our final odd, the odds of Rey Palpatine. Oh, sorry. The odds of Rey returning to Jakku.
Full Brock on this one. I mean, I feel like the directors, like, as much as they want to pay homage to these movies, they're also like, especially Rian Johnson, like, no, we're gonna do it our way, and let's switch it up. I know it's JJ, so maybe he will. But like, our main characters always tend to return home at some point in the series. Yeah, unfortunately, are all desert planets. So, but yeah, I don't know. I only know I'm full Brock because her insistence to return to Jakku just fades away in episode 8. So
I'm going to go 60. And the reason I'm going to go 60 is because when The Force Awakens came out, there was such an emphasis on Jakku and the Battle of Jakku. In Battlefront 1, they added the Jakku scene. In Battlefront 2, you get to play the Battle of Jakku. The books dealt a lot with Jakku.
Yeah.
I think J.J. Abrams likes Jakku. And I think for Rey's answers to really be, for Rey's questions to be answered properly, I think she needs to go back there. And maybe that's where the final battle takes place, is on Jakku.
You're right, because it's sort of, even though she doesn't talk about Jakku that much, well,
In the
I mean, it's not, she doesn't want to return as much as she does in the first one, but she does want to know who her parents are. And whoever her parents are is linked to Jakku. So yeah, maybe that's really what will bring us back.
Maybe she'll find out the what kind of Carillion rum that they sold her for.
Would it be amazing if she goes to Jakku and just like, oh, it's all desert, but if you go a little bit further, just like complete civilization.
It's not the Venice city that they created at one point. That would have been so cool to see.
Yeah.
And then she's like on like the gondola, ahoy hoy. It was in Venezia. Ahoy hoy. They paddleboard over there.
Cool.
I paddleboard.
Holo news.
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
What you gonna do when you get Holo news?
Live from Coruscant, it is the Holo news starring a new Jedi.
Yay! Laura Dern learned a new term, I guess, recently, because now she thinks Holdo is force sensitive.
You sound like you're a butthurt fan right now.
I am a butthurt. I need some preparation H for H for hate. No, Laura Dern was doing an interview with EW recently, and she said that she believed her character, Vice Admiral Holdo, was force sensitive, knowing the backstory that Rian Johnson always sort of creates for the characters. We know that Andy Serkis knew the backstory of Snoke, but she sat down with Rian Johnson, Ram Bergman, and Kathleen Kennedy, and they gave her a backstory. So she said, in their minds and in their understanding of their origin story, we know that she was a true rebel in the resistance, and in our culture, we may have called her a hippie. But she was longing for peace and a revolutionary in that way, and wanted to be trained by and led by Leia, who taught her everything she knew. She wanted to come up in the ranks to support Leia's mission, but also had this otherworldly side that does involve the Force. I get what she kind of saying. I mean, one, it'd be fun to be a Force wielder, so I get it. But I almost took it more of like, she respects Leia and she sees her oneness with the Force, which could be something useful for a leader, right? She just has an intuition, maybe. I don't know. It's Laura Dern. Her character has gone away. That is a cool picture. Has gone away. So it's like, it really doesn't matter what she has to say. I liked her in this movie. So if she came back somehow, I'd be super psyched. She's an excellent actress. Oh, EA is back at it again. Apparently,
they really want this contract.
They do not want to lose the Star Wars. The makers of Battlefront 1 and 2 for Star Wars for Xbox, PS4, and I think that's it. A job posting for EA was revealed that they are still in the market to do Star Wars games, specifically a position for lead online engineer in a future Star Wars open world project. It literally said that. The executive vice president Patrick Soderlund said that EA needed to pivot the design in order to deliver an experience that players will not come back, that will want to come back to and enjoy for a long time, referring to when they were just working on a Visceral project with Visceral to make a similar game to Uncharted or possibly Dead Space. We are shifting the game to be a broader experience that allows for more variety and player agency, imagining a Star Wars adventure of greater depth and breadth to explore. So it's like, we want to make games. Great. Of course, once it was discovered that this kind of revealed stuff they didn't want to reveal yet, the job posting was slightly taken down and slightly altered. So it just said they need someone to work at their company. But that's exciting. It's a no-brainer. Make more Star Wars games. Make whatever needs to be done. But it'd be cool because the position is in EA's Burnaby office in Vancouver. So it's like, we are making the game here, which is great. Canada.
Van City Reynolds.
Mr. Snoke goes to Washington. Andy Serkis admitted recently that he was shocked when he learned the fate of Count Dooku. I mean, Snoke in The Last Jedi. If you know, like, these scripts are pretty secretive. They do not give out copies, so they have a tablet and they read it and they hand it back, blah, blah, blah. So he said it was riveting when he was reading this script for the first time. The tension building with each line. I just couldn't work out where it was heading. And then as I swiped up, there was the end. Not for Rey, not for Kylo, but for Supreme Leader Snoke.
Snoke.
Just gone. And then he walked out of his trailer in a state of semi-shock, feeling the weight of knowing I would have to mask a great secret for a very, very long time. And that his very own brother, in real life, not Snoke's brother, a massive Star Wars fan, was going to be heartbroken. So that's kind of a bummer, but whatever, man. You get to be in Star Wars.
Wow. 1.5.
1.5.
Emphasis on the half.
Hey, man.
Oh, Snokey.
You got them Star Wars dollars.
I actually really liked him in the second one.
And George Lucas has been mentioned recently. Mark Hamill, doing his Mark Hamill stuff, was having an interview with IGN where they were discussing what was it like working with new Star Wars directors like Rian Johnson, J.J. Abrams, and how their vision, what was it like? And inevitably, George Lucas came up, and Mark Hamill stated that there was a lot of ideas that George was throwing around prior to selling to Lucasfilm. Just he had always ideas. It's George Lucas. He's a writer. He's a creator. He's always got ideas, and he's created one of the most elaborate universes in the world, I guess, with Star Wars. So he said, Mark Hamill said, I would happen to know that George didn't kill Luke until the end of episode 9, after he trained Leia, which is another thread that was never played upon in The Last Jedi. So that's great. This has been declared the first definitive confirmation from anyone directly involved with the franchise that Lucas would have killed off Luke in the final episode had he made an additional Star Wars movie after Revenge of the Sith. We do see that Leia's connection, but it's not. It sounded like it was a bigger role in episode 9. That's cool. I would have loved that. I mean, Expanded Universe touches on this quite a bit. But I don't know what the point of bringing it up was. Like, if they had made it, in the 90s, yeah, that would be interesting. But like,
the problem
they're
is
old. So
Mark Hamill opened his mouth like
Yeah.
a year ago,
Mhm.
and now everybody asks him all these damn questions.
Yeah, and he answers.
And well, he can't be like, he's being honest, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's also, you know what? It's not. I mean, he kind of takes a jab, I guess, where he's
Mm.
like, "That's a thread, another thread they didn't follow." But at the same time, it's kind of cool. Like, I really want to know what Lucas's ideas were,
Oh yeah.
what he thought, and if this is the only way we're ever going to get them. Keep talking, Marky.
It would be cool. Like, it would be cool to get like a comic book of it. It's like,
Yeah, like that original Star
if
Wars.
George didn't sell.
Because I wonder. Well, the dialogue would have been bad, but I think the story itself,
Yeah.
would have been amazing.
Yeah, I think it is what we're missing in the series, because we want to know where these characters go. Now we come to this new trilogy where it's like, oh, don't worry about that. Here's new characters. It's like, but I want to learn about my old ones.
We talked about this a few weeks ago where they were stuck where they should have just made 3 new Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
But instead, they couldn't do that because fans, us, we all would have
Yeah.
been like, well, what about Luke and Han?
But what about it? I
And
don't
so
know.
they're like, okay, well, let's make 3 new ones, but you have to throw in the old ones. And then, so I think that was the mistake, is they should have just... I don't even know if it was... It's weird. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't have answers. I mean, I have a
Full
lot
Brock.
of answers
I don't
to
know.
things, but I don't know. I like Jar Jar. I also don't have it, Burba. That was a terrible Jar Jar. What does that say? Do you want to go here?
Top 5.
Today's top 5.
Top
Our
5.
top 5.
Obi Wan moments.
Obi Wan Kenobi.
Hello there.
Oh, that's
Top
actually
5.
all
Here we
five-
are.
All 5 of mine are when he says top. Hello there.
Top 5 Obi Wan moments. Why are we going with this? I didn't even ask. I mean, just popped into your head, or what prompted you to think of?
Yeah, well, I want to. I think I want to know if this Obi-Wan movie is coming. I want to know if they're waiting for the Solo receipts to tell them. I want to know who's going to direct it.
Yeah.
I know that the Billy Elliot guy was tapped when that article came out over a year ago, or under a year ago now. But I'm curious because this Lord and Miller thing, I think, really kind of sent shockwaves down Lucasfilm, where they're like, well, now, like, what I say with the Lord and Miller thing is, they hired these guys who were not necessarily young, but they were like the young hot guys who like they had none of their movies were bad. They were in it. They hired them to do a thing. They came in. They did their thing on a thing that shouldn't have been their thing.
Yeah.
And then they kicked them to the curb 5 months into shooting. 70% of the film done. They were like, you know what? This is not working out. You got to go, which is whatever. It is what it is. And then they didn't go for anyone like that. They went for Uncle Ron. They went for someone that could get the job done. And then when Colin Trevorrow bitched about Luke dying and all that, and then he couldn't figure out a script that worked with Leia, with no more having Leia, and his ego got in the way, they kicked him to the curb. And who they got? They got J.J. Abrams, who is, he's a little bit sexier, not physically, but than Ron Howard in like filmmaking aspect. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
He's more exciting than Ron Howard coming on, I guess, in a lot of ways. But they went for somebody that they knew could deliver. And that's what I think about Obi-Wan. I think, okay, the Billy Elliot guy might be good, but is that who they're going to get? Or are they going to go with like an Uncle Ron type guy? And they're going to be like, you just come in here.
Yeah.
And because we know that you're going to do what is on the paper. And I think the problem with Lord and Miller is they come from a world, and Donald Glover said he comes from the same world, basically, where there's a paper or a tablet. Yeah. But that's just their starting point. And then you go off. But when it comes to a Kasdan script produced by Kathleen Kennedy, that is your Bible.
Yeah.
That is what you're sticking to.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's why.
Yeah.
Long answer. I want Obi-Wan.
Number 5.
And Ewan McGregor should be recast.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
April Fool should be recast?
Yes. I think he's great.
No, recast.
So he's someone else?
Like they should recast. They should recast Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So it's a new
April
new
Fool's.
actor.
Yeah. Hell, if they do that, this is me. And I'm going to go join the Last Jedi picket.
You take off all your Star Wars clothes and you just leave the room.
I actually would join all the Last Jedi haters. I'd be like, I'm with you guys now.
Yeah.
That was too far. Unless, of course, they're going with like a 7-year-old Obi-Wan. Then
Yeah.
But then they could digitally make Ewan McGregor 7 years old.
Give him a beard.
All right, my number 5. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is the I knew your father discussion they have in his house. It's important, and it's also a conversation that launched a whole trilogy.
And created a TV show.
Yes.
Because he mentions the Clone Wars.
Exactly. So I felt like it's not overly exciting, but it's just like, oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
How Luke gets to touch a lightsaber for the first time. C-3PO shuts down to save his battery and then never charges his battery ever again. Yeah. No, I liked it, and I thought it was like, that's kind of important. Like, it's a vital part.
Mine is when he dies.
Oh, what? Spoilers.
He gets chopped, and then it's one of the most iconic scenes in cinema when it just goes to nothing, and he's just a robe. Obi Robe Kenobi.
Obi Robe.
Obi Robe. I really like that part, and it's because you're like, oh, and then you hear his voice later, and you're like, oh, he's not really gone. Oh my god! And then he comes back, obviously, in the spoiler alert. Number 4.
My number 4, I like to switch it up. I've mentioned this before. The final showdown between Maul and Obi Wan in the Rebels TV show. Very short, but like very satisfying once it really sunk in. You're like, yeah, I like that. That's cool. That's it.
Jango Fett chasing him through the asteroid.
See, I didn't put any prequel stuff. I didn't forget, but just like I was just like, what is it? What do I like? Pew.
That's I love the prequels. Unlike you, prequel hater.
I said I like the prequels.
I know you. You have behind this poster here is an FU prequels.
Behind it just says Star Trek.
My number 3 is, of course I do. He's me. And then the part, and then the part where he talks about the Clone Wars and all that, because that's the first time we met him, and Alec Guinness is so effing good that you're like, damn,
Daniel,
this is good. I love that part. I love when he comes with the hood on. He's like,
yeah,
I love it.
We'll be back in great numbers. My number 3 is another different take. The Obi Wan journals from the Star Wars ongoing, because like that would be great just as a movie, and just seeing the back and forth between him and Uncle Ben, and it's just like, yeah, this would be cool. I'd like this very, very much. So yeah,
we're on 2.
Yes, number 2.
2. Hello there, General Grievous, and they fight, and then he goes on that weird lizard thing. I don't really like the lizard thing, but he goes on the lizard thing, and then Grievous is in that weird wheel, and he's like, ah, and he's like, whoa, General Kenobi, and then there's all those memes. General Snow Globy. The Winnie the Pooh one's the best. Have you seen that one?
I think so.
Where it's from the Christopher Robin trailer, and he goes, hello there. And it's Winnie the Pooh with 4 lightsabers. It goes, General Kenobi. I don't know. It's just Winnie the Pooh with 4 lightsabers is awesome. But I like that. I like that. Whatever. Your number 2?
My number 2 is kind of a melange of things. I just like when he talks. Because I didn't really like. I couldn't choose one, and they're kind of like very small moments, but it's like, use the Force, Luke. Isn't
that kind of what your number 5 was? No, your number 5 was when he talked.
Kind of, but like that scene's, I feel.
This is less specific.
That scene's like important for launching all this other stuff. So one simple little scene.
This is just vocals.
I think it's like his vocals kind of like, it explains what the Force is without explaining it. It's like he's talking to him through the Force in the trench run. And then I also put, that's no moon, when they're like, it's that moon over there. And like Han, a pilot who's sitting he can see what's ahead of him, and he's got all these things in front of him. But like, I always assumed it's like he has the Force, so he understands what it is.
It's a space station.
It's a space station. That's no moon. And then also, because of this theme, I was trying to think, I was like, these aren't the droids you're looking for. That's a very simple way of explaining, like, this is what a mind trick does. And like, and just, I don't know. I feel like whenever there's no moon for a long time, when anyone said Obi-Wan Kenobi, I would just be like, that's no moon. So I just wanted to throw it in there. Number dose.
My number 1 is when he milks the space cow.
Wait a second.
No, my number 1, anybody that has watched this and known me should know what my number 1 is. Darth Maul.
Darth Maul.
Phantom Menace. My favorite part in Star Wars. Bum, 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 bum.
Pretend you're eating a taco.
Actually, I would say the Qui-Gon part is actually the best part of that, but I don't care. But then he kills Darth Maul, and Darth Maul has the high ground. And he still kills Darth Maul. Bum, 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 bum.
My number 1 was the Cantina negotiation. It's the first moment that we meet Han Solo, and it's sort of, I want to say like the first time you kind of get a hint of who Obi Wan is or how savvy Obi Wan is. So it's sort of like, it's like, look, we'll give you money. You take us, no questions asked, and then we'll pay you even more money when we get there. And it's like, are you sure? Like, he's even though he's like, they depict him as a crazy guy out in the Junland waste, he comes in and just knows, and then he cuts off Ponda Baba's arm. Like, it's, yes. I feel like that's a moment where you're like, yes, tell me more.
Lifted from Yojimbo. Bum, 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 bum.
And then also it kind of gives you a reason to like be sad when he dies, because you're like, wow, this is an interesting character. I want to learn more.
Which is where I thought the Han Solo stuff in The Force Awakens missed out.
Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum.
I was like, wait, here it comes. That has been top 5.
Top 5. Okay, my mouse is stuck. Oh, there we go. If you guys have a top 5, send it our way, especially if you're on Patreon. Send it our way. Guys, that is 87 weeks of the Rebel Scum podcast. I can't believe it. 2 weeks ago was 1 year to Star Wars Celebration. No word on when 2019 celebration is. D23 just got announced.
We should go to D23. That might be fun.
I think we are.
Oh, surprise!
Yeah, I want to go there. I want to know where celebration is. If it's in the California area or the Florida area, I'm there 100%. If it is in the England area, 7% because of mullahs.
Is D23 always in Florida?
I think it's in California.
It's always in California?
Yeah, I think it's like
that makes more sense.
Star Wars Land opens on next year, 2019. Things are ramping up over there in terms of building. Oh, and we didn't talk about the Thrawn novel. Did you read about the Thrawn novel? There's an excerpt from Thrawn.
I saw there was an excerpt. I meant to read it, and I did not.
I read it, but I don't want to give it away.
Yeah.
That's also the thing I don't want to give away. But the planet, Batu,
yeah.
that is mentioned in Thrawn Alliances.
Right.
And I think it's going to play a big part in that book, it looks like. So
cool.
That's very, very cool. And that is it for this week's episode, Brock. Anything else you want to say?
Hi, Mom.
She's not going to watch to this far into the show.
You don't tell me what my mother does.
We should do a trivia question. Whoever's like, to see if anyone's watching right now. Here's what's a good trivia question?
What is the name of Han Solo's blaster?
Does it have it? Oh, like the
model name, I guess.
Okay, what's the model name of Han Solo's blaster? Let us know in the comments below. We'll give you a shout out on next week's show because you are my favorite person right now. All right. And until next week, Brock, you were always scum.
Rebel scum.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.